They say some houses hold memories, but what if a house holds something much worse? A secret so dark that it drove an entire family to flee in terror after only 28 days. A crime so chilling that even the police couldn't explain it. And a photograph so disturbing, it might just prove the unimaginable. Tonight, we uncover the real story behind the Amityville Horror, one of the most terrifying and controversial hauntings in history. But beware, because once you hear the truth, you might never sleep the same way again. It was a cold November night in 1974 when the first screams were heard from inside the house at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. A house that would become one of the most infamous haunted locations in history. The story you think you know is terrifying enough. But what if I told you the truth is even darker? 6 gunshots, one after another. A chilling silence followed as a gruesome massacre took place. Ronald DeFeo Jr. had just slaughtered his entire family, his parents and 4 siblings, as they lay sleeping. But what's truly disturbing is that none of the neighbors reported hearing gunshots, despite the high-powered rifle used. The bodies were found face down, tucked into their beds. No signs of struggle, no forced entry. How is that possible? The police were baffled. How could 6 people be murdered in cold blood, in the middle of the night, without a single scream or movement? DeFeo's explanation kept changing. First, he claimed a hitman did it. Then he said voices told him to. Voices that whispered in the dead of night, telling him what had to be done. But were these just hallucinations? Or was there something far more sinister at play? A year later, George and Kathy Lutz moved into the house with their 3 children, hoping for a fresh start. They got it for only 28 days before fleeing in absolute terror. What they described during those 28 days has haunted the world ever since. Imagine waking up at 3:15 a.m. every single night, the exact time the DeFeo murders occurred. Picture the walls bleeding, the house filled with a foul, rotting smell, and shadows moving in places where there was no light. The Lutz family swore they saw glowing red eyes staring at them from the windows. They heard a deep voice growling from the basement. Kathy Lutz claimed she felt invisible hands grab her, and she even saw herself transform into an old, haggard woman in the mirror. George Lutz became obsessed with the fireplace, chopping wood in a trance-like state, growing eerily similar to Ronald DeFeo. Then there was their daughter, Missy. She made an imaginary friend, Jody, a pig-like creature with red, glowing eyes. But here's where it gets even creepier. One night, Missy told her parents that Jody didn't want them in the house anymore. Jody said they needed to leave, or else. That was the final warning. On their last night in the house, the terror escalated to its peak. Loud banging echoed through the halls. The temperature plummeted. A dark force seemed to take hold of the entire home. And when the Lutz family ran from the house that night, they left everything behind. They never returned. But what was the truth behind the horror? Was it a demonic force? A restless spirit? Or could it be something more human? Some skeptics believe the Lutz family exaggerated or even fabricated their claims to profit from the story. Yet, every investigator who stepped foot inside that house reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. A priest who attempted to bless the home claimed he heard a voice scream, "Get out!" before he fell ill. And the evidence? Paranormal investigators captured a chilling photograph inside the house. One that still haunts those who see it. A boy with hollow, glowing eyes peering from the staircase. a boy who was never there. Over the years, new owners moved in, claiming they never experienced anything unusual. But can evil simply vanish? Or does it choose its victims? What do you believe? Was the Amityville house truly haunted? Or is the real horror not in ghosts, but in the minds of men? One thing's for sure, if you ever find yourself walking by 112 Ocean Avenue, don't look too long. You might see something looking back.